want to destroy the FBI, for instance? Why?
Well, we could point out first that the first 125 years of this country existed without an FBI. You know, that came about, I believe, during the First World War.
Interestingly enough, the one thing that Woodrow Wilson did, he used the FBI to spy on American citizens and actually arrest them if they disagreed with his foreign policy about going to war in Europe. And isn't it interesting how recent they used it in the Vietnam era? Democrats used it there, and Republicans used the FBI to spy on 100 different groups in this country, including the churches, who disagree with the policy in Central America. It almost looks like the FBI was designed to spy on Americans who might be disagreeing with policy, especially the foreign policy.
Because I think the FBI is not a perfect institution, and they've also been known to violate civil liberties. They run sting operations, and of course they spy on citizens. Think of what the FBI did with Martin Luther King, which was strictly an unconstitutional act to develop all this information on a lot of private citizens where there's no threat.
Should the FBI be able to cut the television wires to your house, and then when you call for the repair guy, show up and pretend to be the cable guy, and in the act of repairing what they have cut, install bugs on your phone so that they can listen to you talk? That was the case faced by a judge in Las Vegas when, believe it or not, the FBI actually did that in order to entrap a person in the Caesars Palace Hotel in Sin City. The judge said if the FBI can get away with this, then the constitutional guarantees of freedom don't mean anything.
I mean, what did our people do prior to 1914, prior to the FBI? There were all kinds of interstate conflicts, but we existed. I don't see where anybody's written any great books about how terrible it was before we had the FBI. You can find a lot more books about the FBI and how they have violated civil liberties rather than the despicable situation that might have existed prior to the FBI.
Can the FBI testify falsely in a case, and as a result of that false testimony, have 18 people sentenced to death, 12 of whom have already been executed? That too was revealed when we learned that the FBI laboratory, which compares hair samples of known defendants with a single strand of hair found at a crime scene and purports to identify them. The FBI revealed that in 1980 and 1990, it testified erroneously in 257 out of 268 cases. That means hundreds of people went to jail, millions of dollars were wasted, 12 people were executed because of these errors.
So the FBI, although I don't think I could condemn everything they've ever done, because I'm sure some of the investigations and investigation of crime has been beneficial, but that could be accomplished through Justice Department within our states. We wouldn't reject that portion of it. But I think the FBI has kept and continues to keep a lot of records on a lot of individuals.
It is so sad that now we have the FBI checking up on finding out what books you're reading. To go to the libraries to find out what books you're checking out to get on an FBI list. That is not part of the American system. Something has to be done, and we as libertarians expect to do something about it.